up. So this is an image that shows the character. You can't see the underlying structure, but just the finished part. And it's taken to a level, just the head and the hat and everything, nothing added to it. But with all the different shadings, so the items that we talked about with the highlighting example in the hat, for example, here's a cylindrical shape. Now you're applying it, and then this has all of the tones that build around it, from the base tone, half tone, quarter tone, all these values with a little bit of the reflected light, and then still trying to maintain the look of the character as it goes through. Okay, so what I'm asking you to do is to take that character with the theme of the idea of aeronautics for this part, and just to illustrate that. And here's just a couple that I did extra of the same character, and just went in with this afterwards with ink and color pencil, took the graphite out. And in this case, if I go back to the hat again, you have the highlighting and the base tone, but since it's black and white solid line art is what they call it, this is almost done in the posterization style. So the solid black pieces, there's some hatch lines that show up to show some of the shading, and then the color pencil coming down gave them a little bit of a shaving there, so it's using a pointillism or a stippling to illustrate that. And then down below in something like the hands or the pants or that type of thing that has the same type of concept there. And then here's another example that has the coloring of it, and then in this case the shading is in the color pencil, so it's kind of a little bit more different medium, slightly variation to it. And now just trying to illustrate the character from scratch. So here I have a close-up view of them. Like I said, you can add a body to it. I'm just adding an arm and a hand to this character. So I'll try to add to that a little bit. See if I can move this sketch out of here. So here's the initial drawing. So if you can see this, I've worked on a little bit today, and there's the circular shape, there's the vertical center line as it comes down, and you're kind of locating the same concept of this character that started out to be the formula. So even though it's a round shape, he has a little bit more of a bridge to the nose, and now is showing some of the nostrils, a little bit of the cheek line, and now this mustache becomes something that is a little bit more of a kind of a handlebar type thing, and now the chin is another shape. So all the shapes that you've done with the basic pieces are now trying to be implemented into this section. So, and I've tried to make this as large as your page in your sketchbook so you have plenty of room for detail, and just kind of placing this on here. So as I go through this, I can add something. I've added some of the things that they didn't place, so I just put in the eye shape here, just kind of highlighting it with the eyelid, and it builds that piece up. They haven't really done any ears, so when you come to the side of this, just in the proportion of it, you can place that section in there. So still going to place the eyes inside here, giving a little bit of highlighting to that. And from the side, as it goes to a 3/4 view, kind of see the cheeks of the character. And here's the mustache coming out. So just kind of keeping it still a dimensional section. And here he has a lower lip showing up in there. Okay, but like I said, as you're doing a theme of aeronautics, that's where you want to create something on your own. I'll kind of show what I've done here. So here, the side of the ear, they just have one line for the ear, but you can add pieces to it. Taking a look at his sideburns coming down, and whether I put him in a helmet or keep it with a derby is something that I'll take a look at. And then we haven't discussed too much with the hands or the shapes, but the same idea, trying to come up with a basic shape for this hand. I have him holding the telephone here. Seems to be something you don't want to lose. And again, all the things that you've done with the basic shapes, the cylinder, the cone, the sphere, the cube, you're trying to implement that in anywhere you see your drawing. So there's kind of the character placed into the plane itself. So I kind of made the front of it here. There. And any of the details, you can look up reference for whatever your creative idea is. Here's the windshield part. Just kind of sketched in lightly. Like I said, I'm going to keep him with his derby. So same idea, it's a cylindrical shape putting this together. And there you have it. So once you get kind of the layout, then just heavying all these pieces up just like you've done before to try to illustrate this a little bit into more detail. Just kind of going it as a linear approach for this part. So as you think of ideas, see what you want to bring to the character. And make your drawing to fit one whole page of your sketchbook to fill into it. And then once it's linear, I'll just keep that part to take a look at the shading. Just look for half the distance. Again, try to shade it in lightly as you go, and concentrate on the linear part as well. So there he is, kind of sketched in there. off. Again, look at reference so you can see what you're using, putting together. So take a look at that. Just try to add into it with the shading that you go through.